Welcome back. I want to introduce you to our next guest, heading up Ontario's new Council on Equality of Opportunity. And this is following the marches and riots making headlines all over the world. Jamil Javani is the province's advocate for community opportunities. He is an author, a community organizer, a Yale Law graduate, and he joins us this morning via Skype. Good morning to you, Jamil.
Good morning.
I want to begin here with your new position, with this new council. What does it truly mean?
Well, I think partially it's a recognition that in order for us to make a difference in disadvantaged communities across our province, in order for us to knock down barriers to success and create new pathways of opportunity, we need to bring a diverse group of people together from different generations, different backgrounds, to help give the government advice. And I think that's a sign of humility in saying, look, this is a difficult task in front of us. And in order for us to take this on and do a good job, we need to have the right people around the table.
Let's backtrack a little bit and bring in some of your personal life experiences and what you bring. Can you give our viewers a sense of what you have experienced growing up?
Sure. I mean, I faced many of the barriers that a lot of young people in our province and in our country face. I mean, I grew up in a single-parent household, in a school system that I didn't fit in. I was labeled illiterate when I was a high school student. I had friends going in and out of jail who were tempted by lives of crime. I myself faced many of those same temptations. And, by the grace of God and by the support of mentors in my community, I was able to turn my life around. And so through all that experience, I think I learned about how we can position more young people for success in our economy. And I'm trying to turn that experience and my expertise as a lawyer into policy that can actually make things better for many people across the province. So someone like me is not seen as the exception, not seen as the rare occasion, but actually a lot of people can have an experience like me in our society where we may start somewhere, but we wind up in a much better place by the time we enter the workforce.
I understand that you actually approached the Premier and you said, we need to make some changes here. We heard earlier with this press conference when he once said, and not very long ago, he didn't believe systemic racism was an issue here in Canada, here in the province. The next day, changed his tone there. You had a conversation with him with those comments made. What was that conversation?
Well, what we talked about was just the mistake of comparing ourselves to the United States. I mean, when we say, oh, we're not like the U.S., we don't have the same challenges as the U.S., that is true in many cases, but that doesn't mean we don't have our own problems. And I like to encourage people to focus on what is the difference between where we are now and where our ideals and our values are, and focus on how we close that gap. Because when we compare ourselves to other countries, I think we get lost in what's actually important for us to do and to take responsibility for here.
Jamil, really important to look at our relationship and the community's relationship with the police. I know you've been very outspoken with a lot of your articles as well about police reform, but it's not so easy, as you say, to just say defunding the police. So what do you mean by all of this, and what do you think should be done and needs to be done?
Well, look, I think people are right to say, let's think about how we use our budgets. And if there's a way we can adjust the police budget to also pay for other things, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. But a lot of people are treating the police as if they are a net negative to safety and stability in our society. And the truth is, the police have a really important role to play in community safety. A lot of the neighborhoods in our society that suffer from negative relationships with the police also suffer from things like gang violence and high crime rates. So there's a balance to strike here between saying, how do the police help keep us safer, but also make sure the police do not have too much of a role in the safety conversation where we're actually taking attention away from other things like community programs and social programs. There are great police chiefs in our province, like Toronto's chief, Mark Saunders, Ottawa's chief, Peter Slowly, who I think are trying really hard to understand how we strike that balance. And I think we should hear more from those sorts of leaders in the police community.
I know you are looking for other council members here. You want more voices. How can people get involved?
Yeah, we've got an open application process right now, which you can find if you just Google the name of the council and ontario.ca. You should be able to find it pretty quickly. You can also find it on various social media accounts for the government. And we're looking for people between the ages of 18 and 29 who can join the group of multi-generational experts that we've already identified and provide their voice and help us do better. As I said, this is an expression of humility. We're saying we need more people at the table, and we need the people of Ontario to step up and help us out here.
Okay, we'll put that link on our website as well. So once this council is created, you have it, what's the timeline, or is there a specific timeline for the province?
Well, it's going to last as long as we deem it necessary. So there's no end date. We are going to get started this summer with our first meeting. We're going to bring policy ideas to the council, especially with the COVID pandemic in the background. We know there needs to be action taken to help young people get back into the workforce or enter the workforce for the first time. So there's an urgency here, and we're absolutely going to take action as soon as we're able to get the council together, have our first meeting, and get to work.
Jamil Jivani, some important conversations to be had and, more importantly, actions to be made. We appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.